everyone. Welcome back. Please comment, subscribe, folks. Comment, subscribe, like the videos. Also share the videos. I want to thank everyone that does like, watch, and share my videos. You folks are the absolute best. Listen, folks, there's a link tree down below. Has links to all of my social media platforms. Please go down there. Follow me across all my social media platforms and talk to me because I talk back. Also down there as well as links to all of my YouTube pages. Please go down there, subscribe to all my YouTube pages, and turn on your notifications so when I post content, you folks will be in the know. Listen, folks, Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern, we'll be talking Jets, okay? We'll be talking Jets, all right? I do a live radio show. Call in. I take live callers. I love going back and forth with you folks about this football team. So with that said and done and put to the side, I've come to talk to you folks today about the New York Jets releasing running back Michael Carter. Oh, yes. It's crazy, man. They've released him, okay, and he's found his way to another team. We're going to be discussing that. We're also going to be discussing the New York Jets offensive side of the ball holding a players-only team meeting. Sulla's also had some things to say as well as some shakeups along the roster too. So we're going to be discussing that as well. Accountability is starting to come. Okay, it's about that time, all right, because I've been discussing it. Listen, we're going to get into the Michael Carter news first. Now, keep in mind, that players only team meeting, a couple hours after that, Michael Carter was released. We'll see if we ever get the full, deal about why that was. We'll see if we ever get that. But the point here is, Michael Carter was released by the New York Jets. We know now that after being released, he was actually claimed by the Arizona Cardinals. So he is now an Arizona Cardinal, okay? Now we know that behind the scenes, and we kind of heard different things, that Michael Carter has been unhappy with his role within the offense. Understandable. I've been talking about it myself. Everyone knows I love Michael Carter, okay? Listen, he was turned basically into the Jets' third running back when Dalvin Cook hit the scene, all right? Now, here's the deal. Dalvin Cook, okay, has not been playing that great this season, I mean, he was decent against the Raiders. We saw him pick it up. But let me tell you something. The games up into that, when he was running with the rock, he looked like he was running in quicksand. He was going nowhere fast. There was no speed, no burst, no nothing. Now, in the Raiders game, we saw him kick it up a bit, and it seemed like he was getting back to himself. But, bro, there was a chunk of games where it was like, hey, Dalvin Cook is out there running like a 95-year-old man. Get Michael Carter in there and give this guy the rock. We've seen him and Breece Hall really be able to carry the New York Jets offensively and put things together. Michael Carter's rookie year was phenomenal. We know he can do these things. Why are we utilizing him more within the offense? And it was just a big question mark, and he would get nothing. We also know that there's been some frustration as well. We saw it boil over on the sidelines before between him and a running backs coach, kind of having a screaming match. Of course, that was cleaned up. It was just Michael Carter being competitive. The coach is competitive. They all want to win, and it just kind of boiled over there, and he apologized for those things, and everything was smoothed over and done. But still and yet, it was like, yo, we got this weapon over here that can not only run with the football, right? He can hit the holes, and he's got some speed on him, but he can also come out the backfield and catch the football. Why are we not utilizing him more often? That's always been a question in my mind, and I've never got it, right? Then you also, we drafted Izzy as well. So you started to wonder, well, when are they going to get Izzy involved with production offensively with the New York Jets here? He's been deactivated quite a bit. Is his time going to come? And if it does, that's definitely going to be at the expense of Michael Carter as well. And even he talked about that. He talked about it when Dalvin Cook got signed, how the coaches called him and said that his role wouldn't change, but he knew that it would. And of course, with Izzy in the building, his role would change too. But again, Izzy came out and talked about how Michael Carter was always nothing but a good guy to him, took him under his wing and taught him everything. So there was no friction there. But when you look at the situation, it's like, man, Michael Carter just kind of got lost in the sauce. Now, with his release, a lot of players came out in support of Michael Carter, okay? Of course, not only is he a guy that's talented, but he's also a guy that's beloved in that locker room. And you saw it and heard it, right? Mekhi Becton, they asked him straight away, what are your thoughts about Carter getting released? And he said it hurt. It's going to take him some time. He hangs out with all those guys, and those guys are like family to him. Of course, there's been, stuff on Instagram and social media where Michael Carter was joking because Mekhi Becton's shoes are huge, and he was acting like he was on the phone with his shoe. It was funny, okay, really, really funny. But you could tell that Michael Carter is close with those guys, man, especially along the offensive side of the ball. And Becton talked about how football is a business, but those guys are like family, and he's gonna miss Michael Carter. Being around in the locker room. Even some of the media, when they were talking to other players, there was somebody that screamed, respect to Michael Carter, or shout out to Michael Carter, excuse me. They didn't know who it was, but it was shout out to Michael Carter. It was a guy, in the background of, the media talking to another player. So that Michael Carter is beloved in that locker room. Even Elijah Moore, former Jet, came out on social media and showed his respect to Michael Carter as well. And also, tried to coax him to come over to the Cleveland Browns. But, we know that Elijah Moore and Michael Carter definitely have a great relationship as well. Because when Elijah Moore was released, Michael Carter definitely made it known that he loved Elijah Moore. And, he just basically said he stood 10 toes down. So it sucks to see Michael Carter go. Now he's on the Cardinals. I wish him nothing but the best. He was a guy that was all about, wanting to win and doing his best here. So I respect that, and I wish him nothing but the best with his future in Arizona. So as we continue to move on, the New York Jets offensive side of the ball had a players-only meeting, only the offensive side of the ball. Okay, and we know that because Garrett Wilson came out and discussed that they had done just that. Now, they didn't talk about exactly what was said in the players-only meeting. They didn't discuss, who said what to who and who was called out. Didn't say anything like that. They just said we had a players-only meeting, all right? And I'm so glad that this has happened because, bruh, it's about time. It's about time, man. There are so many guys that need to get a reality check around here. And when you look at the Jets offense, okay, they're just playing so sloppy and just all over the place and lacking focus. It's time for somebody to hold people accountable. It's time for people to hold themselves accountable, okay? Because, again, when you look at the Jets' issues offensively, the penalties are insane. We had, 8 penalties against the Raiders? I think it was 8 the game before that. We had 9. A lot of these penalties are coming from our offense. They're killing drives. They're killing touchdowns. We saw C.J. Uzomah get a drive-killing penalty, and then he also got a touchdown-killing penalty as well when holding while Breece Hall ran straight into the end zone for a touchdown that was taken off the board. So I'm glad that they sat down and tried to hash things out and held each other accountable because, again, a lot of these problems that we're seeing, especially with the penalties, they're not coming from, rookies. These guys that are killing us are veterans. Guys like Allen Lazard with the drops and just running sloppy routes and not doing what he needs to do. And then you got C.J. Uzomah as well with the penalties and stuff like that. It's absolutely ridiculous. So it's good to see that there was a players-only meeting. Accountability needs to come to town. And now talking about accountability, Robert Saleh also came out and talked about how there's going to be a shakeup along the offensive side of the roster. There's going to be a shakeup. And he talked about, right, now he did talk about, of course, Michael Carter is gone, but he said that's not the only thing they're going to do. Now, he didn't exactly explain what they were going to do. He said he was going to keep that to himself. But he did say that Jason Brownlee is going to get a bit more playing time. To me, that's kind of the dog whistle to Allen Lazard. Brother, you better wake it up. You're dropping a lot of footballs. You're running lazy routes. We've also seen penalties from you kill us. If you don't step it up, we'll bring Jason Brownlee, a hungry young guy that wants to put on, that can be a playmaker, and we'll sit you down on the bench. It's about time. It's about time that happens. I've been calling for this for weeks. If guys are going to play like they just don't care, then okay. Don't care on the bench. I will put you on the bench, and you can not care from there. I'll get a young guy in here who wants to play mistake-free as possible football and not kill us with penalties, who wants to catch the football instead of making consistent drops, who's focused, okay, and tuned in when he's in there. That's where I'll go. I'll go to the young guy that's hungry. He also talked about Jeremy Ruckert, seeing more time within these games as well and getting more opportunities. C.J. Uzomah, that's the dog whistle to you. You want to hurt us with penalties and all this nonsense that you're doing on the field? To the bench with you as well. Get Ruckert in there. Tyler Conklin as well, who's really been stepping up and talking about things. He even talked about the players meeting, them coming together, understanding, hey, we're grown men and we need to get things together. All right. So Tyler Conklin's another guy that I think should absolutely get, stepped up, get the ball thrown his way as well, because he's a solid tight end too. And you can see he's really stepping up as a guy that's a leader in that locker room. And I also think, again, with Michael Carter being gone, and if we keep doing these shakeups offensively, Izzy Abanikanda needs to be within, getting the football as well in his hands too. He needs to be given a chance to be productive within this offense. Of course, Breece straight away is going to be that bell cow back. But let's see what Izzy's got, especially with Michael Carter being gone and Dalvin Cook being so up and down in his play. One week he's slow as dirt. The next week he's showing you some burst. If he's not going to be consistent, he's not going to run hard. If he's running into the pile for 3 yards in a cloud of dust, give the ball to Izzy and let this young man's speed show you the way. All right, that's what I'm all about. Comment down below. Let me know what you folks think. How do you folks feel about the release of Michael Carter? What are your thoughts about the offensive side of the ball having their own player meeting? How are you feeling about some of the offensive shakeups that Robert Saleh is talking about? Comment down below. Let me know what you folks think. You folks have a good one. Peace.